so big now. Have you seen him? You seen the most recent photos? He put some photos on Instagram of him training, and he took pictures of him with his shirt off. And you're like, what? Jesus Christ. He looks like he's about 250 now, something like that. And he's a big giant dude. He's always been a big giant dude, but he's like super muscled out now. That dude's gigantic now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
terrifying.
That's gigantic. He's so much bigger than he was when he first started. When he first started kickboxing, he was this long, tall, thin guy. Because he started, like some of his early fights that I've seen during the K1 days even, he was way skinnier.
Start your day with a big obstacle, and you conquered it. Amazing recovery tool, as well mentally as it is physically.
As Rico Verhoeven prepares for Oleksandr Usyk, Joe Rogan is stunned by his sheer size and power of his giant physique.
A sea of was Rico Verhoeven, the guy who's the champ right now.
He's the man.
Oh, he's an animal. He's an animal.
Remember that guy? He beat that guy with everybody.
With Mike Tyson on his side, Rico is training like a man at war, fully locked in and ready to shock everyone when he steps into the ring with Usyk.
He's that guy is just die on his shield, reckless. Yeah. He's wired different. Yeah, he comes from, and the thing is, what you were saying, Mike, people love you when you do your best, and that's why they love him. Like, they know that guy's ready to go out on his shield. He's no quit. He's going out on his shield. He goes to war, and sometimes they get him, and sometimes he gets them. And he used to get them a lot more when he was younger, but that's just
nature of the beast.
That's just fighting.
For his part, Rico looks fully prepared, insisting that taking on Usyk is a real challenge, and he is not backing down from it.
Yeah, for me, it was like, why not accept the challenge? It is, like you said, he's considered arguably like one of the best boxers to ever do it. So what an honor and what an opportunity I have. I've conquered everything within the sport of kickboxing, and now getting the opportunity to do it within the sport of boxing, I love it. Like, never get comfortable.
Ahead of him is the challenge of proving his dominance against one of the greatest boxers of this era, and Rico is training hard to sharpen his boxing skills. The hand speed looks brutal, showing how Rico is gearing up to shock the world on May 23 at the Pyramids of Giza. A fully ripped physique and Rico firing faster hands on the bags show he is improving day by day. But none of it seems to faze Oleksandr, who is pushing harder and insisting there is no pressure he feels against a giant like Rico.
Well, not pressure, because I just work. Listen, maybe a lot of people say you feel pressure. No, I just work. For me, I do it what I do, what I can, what I do. Now, no.
Greedy Belly, he fought on Saturday.
Yeah.
Is that still a fight you want, Greedy Belly?
Yes.
Rico is pushing his training to another level, while Joe calls him a beast and a killer for the way he looks and moves. But Shane McGuigan is not convinced at all, saying Rico Verhoeven stands no real chance against Oleksandr Usyk. He insists there are levels in this game, and Usyk, as the master of boxing, would not struggle at all. In fact, he gives Rico 0 chances in a fight with Usyk, believing the gap in pure boxing skill is simply too wide to overcome.
Yeah, I feel like there's levels to this game. As a kickboxer, he's always going to be up against the guy who's a master at boxing. I I don't think he's got a chance at all.
On the other hand, David Allen reveals he sparred Rico back in 2014 and came away believing Rico can actually box with solid skills and real ability in the ring. That alone gives a different angle on Rico's chances against Usyk. But Allen also admits something that feels strange to him. Rico is now pushing for a title-sanctioned fight without holding any rankings or belts, which raises questions about how this matchup is even being positioned.
He's a good boxer. I sparred Rico years ago, and he can box. I sparred in 2014, and he can box, but he's had one pro fight, I think, at a lower level and won it. Possibly, I don't know much about kickboxing. I'm told he's one of the best kickboxers in history. Great. But how this can get sanctioned for a world heavyweight, a genuine bona fide heavyweight championship belt, I'm not sure. What about the top 15 rankings? What about mandatories? What about... Yeah, I don't get it.
Explaining his stance, Allen believes Rico should not be handed a title shot at this stage, but from his personal experience sparring him, he knows Rico can actually fight and has real spirit. The concern for him is the level of opposition, stepping in against the greatest heavyweight of all time. He also doubts Rico would be able to go the full 12 rounds, suggesting the job might get finished much earlier in the fight.
And he's a very big man, great athlete, strong. He has very, very good boxing, and if I would have fought Rico, I'd fancy getting the job done in a real fight because of the experience in boxing. But he can fight, like he definitely can fight. You know, around British title level, he'd give anyone a scrap. He's a good fighter, but he's fighting possibly one of the best heavyweights of all time, and he's a very big man. He's tough. Will he last 12? You wouldn't have thought so. No.
Adding his thoughts, Max Kellerman points out that history has seen fighters transition from kickboxing into boxing with surprising success, suggesting Rico's move against Usyk should not be written off completely. He mentions Vitaly Klitschko, who began in kickboxing before becoming a world champion in boxing and later the mayor of Kyiv, proving adaptability at the highest level. He also brings up Dillian Whyte and his kickboxing roots, arguing that under the right circumstances, what looks impossible can sometimes become reality in unexpected ways.
I'm interested. There's a long history of fighters who started in kickboxing and went on to have a lot of success in boxing. Let me give a few names. How about Vitaly Klitschko?
Kick my ass.
Vitaly Klitschko is, by the way, Vitaly Klitschko was never behind at the end of every professional fight he ever had. He was always up on every scorecard. Think about that for a second.
Lennox Lewis, yeah.
He got stopped on cuts against Lennox. He was up on the cards. He had to stop against Bird. He threw out his shoulder. He was up on the cards. He was never down on the cards at the end of any fight. Kickboxer. Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte started in kickboxing. Jarrell Miller, big baby, started in kickboxing.
He probably here for a year or two.
Got the hair kicked off his head, apparently.
He was a good kickboxer.
Yeah. He was a kickboxer, yeah.
And the list does not stop there. Chris Algieri, who once faced Manny Pacquiao and later became a broadcaster, also came from kickboxing. Caleb Plant shares a similar background, adding more weight to the argument. Max Kellerman believes Rico could still shock people, but he stresses that if Usyk shows full focus, there is very little chance for an upset. He also notes that even legends like Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, and Tyson Fury have sometimes entered fights less sharp, and Rico's massive size difference only makes the outcome even harder to predict.
Chris Algieri, who is a good fighter, by the way, fought with Manny Pacquiao, hell of a broadcaster now. Chris Algieri, kickboxer. Caleb Plant, Troy Dorsey, kickboxer. Remember Troy Dorsey and Kevin Kelly had an incredible fight. There are lots of kickboxers who've made the transition. And look, I'm not trying to hype it up.
Yes, you are.
This guy,
Yes, you are.
If Usyk takes this fight seriously, Verhoeven has no shot. I'm telling you, there's no way he's going to be.
True.
If he takes the fight seriously. But we have seen boxers like Floyd Mayweather and Tyson Fury not be prepared for the fight. This guy is 270 pounds.
He's not that guy, though.
If you, Matt,
and he already has a professional fight.
I will come drop kick you. Stop this. We know how it's going to go. If they train or don't train, Usyk's going to win.
Yes, but yes.
Guaranteed.
And if he trains or doesn't train, Usyk's going to win.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't train, maybe it could be interesting.
But at the same time, Max Kellerman points out a key mistake Rico could fall into, warning that relying on kickboxing habits and standard combinations would not trouble Usyk at all. He explains that against a master-level boxer like Usyk, those patterns become easy to read and counter. Kellerman adds that Usyk's timing, defense, and ring control would shut it down quickly, meaning Rico would need a complete shift toward pure boxing fundamentals to stand any real chance.
Obviously, we know that Usyk is going to win as long as everything goes according to plan.
Right.
But I give Rico this. Kickboxing is not UFC or wrestling. He's not doing different stances. It's not like he's an expert at wrestling. He's an expert at stand-up fighting.
Yeah, but when I say 52 hand blocks, I say that for a reason. He uses a kind of hand blocking style which will work, but not against a highly trained professional boxer.
Hey, Zab Jr. used it to pretty good effects in a lot of fights.
By the way, I've never seen Yoel do it, but I'll bet you Yoel got 52 hand blocks.
But
like he's going to need he needs 104 hand blocks against Usyk. Forget about 52.
Even the former kickboxer is not holding back, completely ruling Rico out against Usyk. Across the boxing world, many professionals are shaking their heads at the matchup. They believe Rico may rule kickboxing, but stepping into a boxing ring with Usyk changes everything, leaving him with no real path to victory. Chris Algieri adds that Usyk already shuts down most of Rico's strengths just through pure boxing skill, and even a clear size advantage would not be enough to shift the balance.
Does Rico Verhoeven have any shot to beat Oleksandr Usyk in this fight?
No. If it was Anthony Joshua, I would be like, yeah, maybe. And Usyk, no, he doesn't get hit. And you're taking away some of his main weapons. It's kickboxing. You're taking away half of his weapons. So and he's not a big puncher. Yes, he's a big guy. He's a very big guy. He's tall. He's big. He's heavy. He's gonna have the size advantage for sure on Usyk. He's super tough and scrappy and tricky. All of that. But it's Oleksandr Usyk. If it was anybody else, I would be like, yeah, there's a shot. It's heavyweights. Anything can happen. One punch is one punch in the heavyweight division. But it's Usyk.
Things got tense when the analyst reacted strongly after Rico Verhoeven made a chilling promise to knock Usyk's head clean off, speaking with the confidence of a man who has spent over a decade finishing opponents early. The statement sparked debate across the boxing world, with many questioning the tone and timing of such bold words. Still, it showed Rico's mindset is fully locked in, carrying the belief that he can end the fight in brutal fashion if the chance appears.
As much or as little detail as you're going to, from the first bell, what are you going to do?
Knock his head off. That's what I'm going to do. I'm, like I said, I'm like 55 pounds heavier. Yeah. So as soon as I hit him, it's going to be something different.
You're going to knock his head off?
Of course.
I think he's only been knocked down once. He's never been knocked, and that was a low blow. He's never been knocked down. You're going to have to go some, Rico.
Oh, what an opportunity I have here. I'm going to shock the world in front of the pyramids in this crazy scene. It's like, oh my God, I love it. That's why I'm so excited.
Responding to this, Hamza Shiraz brushed off Verhoeven's warning as pure delusional talk, saying the kickboxer is underestimating what awaits him in a boxing ring. He went as far as predicting Rico will not walk out on his own feet once the pressure starts building, insisting he will be completely overwhelmed the moment a clean punch lands. The statement added more heat to the debate, painting a harsh picture of how quickly the fight could turn one-sided.
Listen, I think he's going to get absolutely ironed out. That's the truth. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you're fighting Oleksandr Usyk. You know what I mean? Someone who's beat Joshua, beat Fury, not only once but twice, and it's too much of an ask. You know what I mean? He has got a puncher's chance. We all have, but whether that chance will actually come to fruition, I don't really think it will.
While many are praising Usyk's technical brilliance, a frustrated Wade Plemons takes a very different stance. He is not focused on Usyk's mastery at all, and instead wants Rico to completely dominate him in shocking fashion. Wade argues that a one-sided outcome like that would force boxing to rethink these crossover experiments and finally put an end to such mismatched fights. In his view, only a brutal statement win from Rico would change how these bouts are treated going forward.
I almost want Rico Verhoeven to come in and just absolutely starch Usyk. You know why? Because then it would teach boxing a lesson about playing with his food. It would. And Francis Ngannou was this close to doing it, but boxing still hasn't learned. They need to be buried, and I mean in humiliating fashion, so that they learn their lesson about doing these kind of events, because one, you're setting your product up to have this big showing, like, look at how much better we are at boxing than everyone that doesn't box. Who cares? And two, you're giving these people that work their entire lives for opportunities for a championship a spit in the face to go and play circus fight. Someone said, is that Mams Taylor? Is that Mams Taylor? Here we go.
Similarly, Jarrell Miller is going against the crowd, backing Rico Verhoeven to shock the world. He believes Rico has the tools and power to upset the odds and potentially take down pound-for-pound King Usyk on May 23. Miller argues that people are underestimating how dangerous Rico can be when fully focused and prepared. In his view, this is not a simple mismatch, but a fight where one clean moment could completely flip the narrative and change everything.
Rico is very game. He's not no punk. So I'm going to throw up one in the air and say Rico, man. I came up on the kickboxing scene with Rico Verhoeven, you know, Glory and K1. Phenomenal fighter in his respectable sport. If you want to go by the statistics, yes, the fight's favorite Usyk, yes, Usyk's supposed to win, all that, yes, we can say that, but I'm going with my boy Rico, man.
Speaking on the fight, Eddie Hearn also believes Rico has a genuine chance. He points to Francis Ngannou dropping Tyson Fury as proof that crossover fights can deliver shocks. Hearn says he cannot dismiss the idea that a kickboxing champion like Rico might carry that same unpredictable edge against Usyk. Coming from a completely different discipline, Verhoeven could potentially catch the pound-for-pound king off guard and create a moment that changes everything.
You have to be a little bit deluded if you think you can walk into another discipline like this and beat the pound-for-pound number one. But the only way you're going to beat the pound-for-pound number one in this situation is by being deluded, right? Like, so Rico 100% believes he can not go in there and beat Usyk up and knock him out, right? And he can punch, and he's a big, strong guy, and he has good fundamentals. But, you know, given what happened in Francis Ngannou against Tyson Fury, I will never not think that someone can come in from a fighting discipline and compete, because I thought Ngannou had no chance at all, and I thought he won the fight. I mean, he dropped Fury, like...
According to Eddie Hearn, coming from a different discipline is exactly what gives Rico a small window of opportunity. While he is clear that Verhoeven is not expected to win, Hearn still admits the kickboxing champion has enough basic boxing fundamentals to potentially cause problems. He references the Ngannou effect as proof that unexpected moments do happen in the sport. In his view, Rico's unusual style could trouble Usyk early, even if only for a few rounds before experience takes over.
Kind of styles, they're just different. And if Rico can apply himself unconventionally, I think he might have a little bit of success. I don't think he can win, but he does. And, you know, it's not like just it's not a YouTube fight. This is a guy who's one of the greatest kickboxers of all time. He's got good fundamentals. He can box. But you are facing the pound-for-pound number one.
So after all the debates, the warnings, and the bold predictions, the question still hangs in the air. Can Rico really shake the boxing world, or is Usyk just on another level? May 23 is shaping up to be more than just a fight. It feels like a collision of styles, power, and pure belief against perfect boxing skill. Now it is your turn to weigh in. Drop your prediction in the comments, hit like if you think Rico shocks the world, and subscribe for more fight breakdowns just like this.